What's up? It's your girl, Levin Lucinda, and I just want to come and do a quick little video, a reaction about what I've been seeing with KillaKenz and Latrese Allen. Now, if you have been around the YouTube streets for a while, you probably recognize me as Lucinda Speaks. I came out as a talking like emoji a couple of years ago, and I used to do reactions on Latrese Allen. And basically, I was at a stance where I was really taking up for her because, people were really dragging her saying some nasty things. And it was during COVID. And everybody was kind of locked in. And, from what I saw, I felt like, she was just a black mother I felt like I noticed that she was not a loved person. And I was a loved only child. I was daunted on. So I'm very sweet and naive. But the more that I got to being around other people, I got to see they were different. And because my mother kept me humble, we would discuss why people were different instead of pointing out that people were different. See what I'm saying? Because we were treated unfairly. You know what I'm saying? By people because of my mom's, background of being like a Haitian immigrant. And people would talk about her, make fun of her and stuff like that. And then, her family grew up pretty poor. So, yeah. So, I was always raised to have compassion and to look at things from both sides. And I also have dealt with, Latrese being a reaction channel, kind of taking up for her. We had a misunderstanding. And she totally flew off the handle. I mean, she just blew off. You ain't, I don't need y'all around me. Y'all don't be standing up for me. Because I was in somebody else's chat. I was literally in somebody else's chat. Somebody sent her a screenshot of me being in somebody else's chat because the lady whose chat I was in said that her younger kids had done something inappropriate. Now, this person, is cool with her. But yet, still, you pointed me out for being in somebody else's chat doing what I want to do. And that same person later did the same thing. It's like people expect loyalty, but yet when you see things that they put out and you have an opinion, all of a sudden. So anyway, needless to say, how things go. And that's just YouTube, but this is TikTok. So I will say with my dealings with her, yeah, she was like talking mess and upset and I was basically standing up for myself. Like, basically like you can't tell me who chat to be in, you know what I'm saying? And if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But you're not gonna address me openly on the platform and think I'm not gonna stand up for myself. And, I basically have pulled away, of course, because big content creators a lot of times feel like you owe them some grand loyalty and you really don't. You know what I'm saying? You really, really don't. Because you don't know them. Yes, you're trying to build your platform and, get them to shout you out, but you're also defending them. Right? So really one kindness deserves another. But when you kind of operate in that, they don't like it because they feel like you're chasing clout and that you feel like they owe you something. It's not that they owe you anything. It's just that you're going to get trolls because you're defending them. People are going to say that they're paying you. So you would think that they would, kind of shout you out, at least help you to grow. You know what I'm saying? If it don't work out, it don't work out. But if it does, it does. So if that's what you want to call it, cloud chasing, call it cloud chasing. So anyway, nothing for me to do but to pull on and keep it moving. And so there's another content creator on YouTube that drags her and does too much as well. But now some people have gotten back to being friends, some haven't. So on YouTube, it goes like that. Like you can talk about people, drag them, and then the next day be friends. I don't know how it goes on TikTok because I'm new to TikTok. But I'm just going to operate how I operate, okay? And I'm just going to do me, okay? I don't know about all these rules and regulations. But auntie just going to be auntie, okay? So let's talk about KillaKenz. Now, I've never met this young man. I don't know him. From what his mom says, he don't like to clean up and stuff like that. Now, listen, I've been a child, and I also work with kids, and I know how they don't like to clean up. I know how they can be hard-headed. I know how they can talk back and be manipulative. I know how kids can do, but at the same time, I know how adults, how we have failed them. I know how we get upset and get... So, but do I think that she's abused her kids? I don't think that. I just feel like they need counseling. I feel like that is a broken family. I feel like there was a disconnect there as far as being like that loving mother that's needed. And I feel like that was withheld. And I feel like that was a learned behavior. And I don't know if it's Tree's fault. I don't know if it's her mama fault. I don't know if it's her grandmama fault. I don't know if it's the sharecroppers on the plantation around the corner fault. I don't know. No, who fault is nothing. Because I wasn't in that house. I don't know her or her child. All I can do is give you my opinion. And my opinion is those people who love Latrese and who love KillaKenz, it's time for y'all to step up and invite them to the dining room table. Now, this is the dining room table. I'm at the house, baby. We in the South, okay? We sitting at the dining room table. And a lot of problems. Y'all see my boxes, but hey, it is what it is. A lot of problems can be solved at the dining room table, y'all. We're gonna have to, when you see and you know, when that young man was talking about how you know, being on social media and being raised on social media and things happening on social media, you know, I felt it because I watched a lot of interactions with him and his mama on social media, and I always saw the disconnect. I always saw the disconnect, and you could clearly see that he was gay, and I felt like, you know, maybe that was it. But and I have a half brother that's gay, and I know how my dad was not accepting of him and how it hurt their relationship. So I did not want that for her. And I know other people probably saw that as well. But when it comes to Latrese, she's very hunted, bullheaded. And he has some of the same traits. So think about it. You carry this person, y'all one and the same, but you don't have that spiritual connection. And you can clearly see it. She on yelling that he's this and that, and he's on, you know, saying things that she's done. He's hurt. She's hurt too. She's still a little girl, and something happened that is not healed. Somebody did not hug that child. Somebody did not hug her mama as a child. Something happened. My mother was 94 years old. I just buried her last year. And I'm still in the fetal position. Don't know which way is up because I am grieving her so much. Can you imagine losing your mother and you have a frail relationship, or losing your son and y'all don't have a good relationship? Those people who love Latrese Allen, you have got to get her to the dining room table, and y'all have got to intercede. Y'all have got to intercede. Y'all have got to get her to the table and get him to the table, and peace has got to come. Healing has got to come. And we don't need no cameras. And it ain't going to happen in one meeting. It's going to have to be a family thing. Because this is what's happening when the family feuds. Nobody wins when the family feuds. Because you got, if you listen to what he's saying with the other grandmamas and stuff, there was boundaries crossed in dating. There was, you know, teenage pregnancy. Those were issues that probably should have been addressed. The community failed this family. And then by social media, we see this family. And now we see the dysfunction. It's no need of judging. It's too late to judge. Now the damage is being done. Now those people, the Peach McIntyres and everybody, now you see the damage that social media has done to your children. You see it in KillaKenz. Stop it now. Using kids for content and putting their business out on social media streets for everybody to see and to judge. And then you really not being truly engaged with the children. Yeah, you raising them. Yeah, you feeding them. But are you really, really, truly connecting with the children? Children still need hugs and love and communication. And parents need to be able to say, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Let me tell you something. I teach children and I make mistakes. You raise children. You make mistakes. We have to say, I have to say, you know what? Miss Peaks is sorry. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But now, when I have to get on to them, I have to set a boundary. I am disappointed in your actions, and this is why. I can't let my emotions take over and say, sit up and shut up. Even though sometimes you're going to feel like that, you got to catch yourself. And that's the same thing with parents. Y'all. And that's why we got to come to the dining room table, ladies. We got to fix some coffee, and we got to talk. It ain't, and then we got to not judge.
And not judging, and that is a big thing. My niece and nephew have really humbled me on that, because a lot of times you just listen to, you know, young people's problems and you just say, well, just do it this way. Just do it this way. And then you want to be done with it. But you really have to listen to their feelings and say, well, you know what? I remember when I was your age, I had a situation. It was similar. But I handled it. This is how I handled it, and this is how it turned out. Maybe I made a good decision in that because of this. Or maybe I didn't make a good decision because of that. But this is how I feel. This is how I see it. And this is what happened. So take what happened to me and make better choices. See, it's a lesson learned. I think that because as women, we haven't been the best examples within the last 40 or something years. We've had some good examples, but we've had some terrible examples. And the terrible examples, they have gotten recognized for being terrible examples. And so now, black women, we don't have the grand reputation of being great mothers anymore. Because now, our real vulnerable mistakes have been exposed. And now we have to say, I'm sorry, I hurt you. I apologize. What can I do to earn your forgiveness? Let's try by saying that we're sorry. And let's fix the relationship with these children. When you the mama, you just gotta be the bigger person.